Welcome back to the channel, it's Hyena, and today I'm going to be talking about crystals. If you've been living under a rock, no pun intended, crystals are essentially minerals that have been underground and formed by various pressures and types of material around them. While most often this is carbon or silica, it can be made by many other things as well. But some people believe these crystals have mystical properties, and that's what we're going to be going over today. I'm going to go over the brown, silver, white, and black hues and see what they have to offer us. And just to be a little more clear about the cost, this is a piece of yellow avertine that I have, and when I refer to cost, I'm typically referring to a chunk about this size. We're going to start with brown, and first up on the list is smoky quartz. Smoky quartz, as it appears, is most often used for focus and grounding. Users may also use it to ease arthritis pain, especially in the hips and lower back. It also may counter radiation from things like TVs and computers. And like all quartz crystals, it helps release negative emotions, giving the user a feeling of safety and nurturing. Up next is petrified wood, which is wood that was buried millions of years ago in the ground and has been fossilized by minerals such as quartz. Because of its quartz content, it can also be used to treat arthritis, but is most often associated with getting rid of old memories or old problems. It's also known as a stabilizer and is associated with the root chakra. A chunk can go from anywhere for $3 to $30 depending on how big or how fine you want the grains to be visible. The last stone we're going to talk about in the brown hue is brown jasper. Brown jasper supports immunity, fertility, and detox. From what I read in my research, a lot of pregnant women who are into crystal healing wear brown jasper because it promotes a healthy pregnancy if you are pregnant. It helps ease negative energy and is good for centering back to the earth. A chunk of this is very inexpensive and will typically cost you about $3. All of the stones in the brown color are relatively easy to find, and you should be able to find them at pretty much any crystal store. And they all have a hardness of about 6.5 to 7 on the Mohs scale. And this is a note for all the guys out there because I thought of this as soon as I read it. Do not cover yourself in smoky quartz crystals and then try to go into a heavily radiated area. If I thought about it, I know at least one other guy is thinking about it. When I said it wards off radiation, I'm specifically talking about electromagnetic radiation, not the kind of radiation you would find at Chernobyl. Up next, we're going to talk about the silver types of gemstones, of which there are only two, that being silver itself and hematite. Silver is used to cope through tough times or help persevere through times in which you are not thriving. It can help soothe strong emotions and also encourage intuition and awareness. It's also good for strength against infection and for immunity. As of the recording of this video, a pure ounce of silver is going to cost somewhere in the range of $37. Because silver is a metal, you can see it on the periodic table, it can actually be melted down and fashioned into jewelry, so you can find it absolutely anywhere you want. Jewelry stores, crystal stores, pretty much everywhere you can go has it, even Walmart. If you want a piece of raw silver ore, depending on how much silver is in the ore, it can run you anywhere between $5 to $20. As stated, the other silver-colored gemstone is hematite. Probably the most inexpensive on the list because every hippie store or crystal store you go into has hematite rings for about $1 or $1.50. It's used to cleanse the blood and support circulation. It's also somewhat known as the warrior stone because it energizes the body and gives you strength. It's good for self-confidence, grounding yourself in the present moment, and warding off negative energy. Some Celtic tribes believe that hematite would actually preserve a person's spirit if they fell in battle and they bled on their hematite jewelry. While hematite has a Mohs hardness of somewhere between 5 and 6, the rings that you buy at hippie stores and such are very easily breakable. Additionally, I've been told that if a hematite ring breaks while you're wearing it, it means it's absorbed as much negativity as the stone can handle and it's time to buy a new one or buy a bigger piece of hematite jewelry. Next, we're moving on to the black gemstones, and the first one we're going to talk about is black obsidian. Black obsidian is a powerful psychic protector, and it also deflects negative energy similar to hematite, specifically the more draining type of negative energy. It's associated mostly with the root chakra, and it brings a stabilizing energy. While it is somewhere between a 5 and a 5.5 on the Mohs hardness scale, it does chip very easily, so it was used to fashion weapons such as arrowheads or javelin heads, and even those Aztec warrior bat sword things that I don't quite remember what it's called. Black obsidian is very plentiful because it's a volcanic glass, which means anywhere a volcano has been or currently is, there's a good chance you're going to find it. Chunks go anywhere from $3 to $10, and on the $10 scale, you can get a chunk the size of my fist. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this next one correctly. Up next, we have black tourmaline. In some ways, it's obsidian's little brother, also giving you psychic protection, as well as cleansing and purifying toxic energy fields. It's also good for realigning your root to crown chakras. It has a fairly average hardness at 7 to 7.5, and is relatively easy to find, with a chunk costing about $5. Next, we have something that's similar to petrified wood, and that is jet. Jet is essentially a super compressed coal and has a hardness of about 3 to 4, and yes guys, I checked, you can in fact burn it as if it was coal. Even if it's been tumbled into jewelry, you can still burn it. If black tourmaline is obsidian's little brother, this would be the little cousin. It does similar things such as neutralizing bad environments, as well as realigning chakras. It also provides a gentler protection, so if you found obsidian or tourmaline a little too aggressive, this might be for you. On the health side, it said that it regulates the kidneys and helps in their function, which makes sense is because the kidneys are a detoxifier in the body, and charcoal filters are one of the best filters you can buy. Also, it may help you recall past lives. You could have been a warrior princess or a starving Victorian child. You take the risk. Since jet is essentially just a very hard coal, it's very easy to find, only costing about $1 per chunk. The last crystal in the black category is going to be black onyx. While there are other colors of onyx, the black onyx promotes balance. It's good for inspiration and also has restorative qualities, allowing you to decompress and unwind in its presence. Black onyx is also associated with the root chakra. Black onyx is pretty easy to find, with most shops carrying it. Depending on which shop you go to and how big of a piece you get, it's going to run you between $5 and $15, with towers of onyx reaching into the hundreds of dollar range. And in case you are wondering, the Mohs hardness is 7. The last color of gemstone today we're going to talk about is white, also being our largest category of the day. Up first, we have white moonstone. White moonstone is typically known as a lady's stone because it helps with fertility and feminine hormones, helping to balance feminine energy and soothe emotions. Users may also see a spike in creativity as well as intuition. White moonstone is very easy to find in local gem stores and has a hardness of 6.5, and a chunk of it will run you somewhere between $8 and $20. Up next, we have selenite, which is a strong energy conductor. It has strong cleansing effects and permeates all chakras in the body, helping realign with your spiritual purpose. Large towers can be used to cleanse rooms, and you may feel a spike in your enlightenment. However, you may want to be careful because it only has a Mohs hardness of 2, so dropping it is almost guaranteed to shatter it. But the good news is it's easy to find and relatively cheap, with a chunk costing only about $3. Up next, we have the highest healing frequency gemstone, which is diamond. Diamond is essentially a megaphone for your aura and strength. It encourages awareness, both spiritual and physical, and is also associated with destiny. Diamond is very easy to find, being found in pretty much every jewelry store, and has a Mohs hardness of 10. You can find ores of diamond for relatively cheap, but if you want a pure diamond, the price varies wildly. Diamond is also so tough that it's often used in construction on saw blades and drill bits. Again, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this next one correctly, danbarite, otherwise known as the angel stone. This is because it's also known to be associated with guardian angels and be a general conductor of the divine. It has a high healing energy and also helps balance the heart and crown chakras. It can also soothe the nerves, and it's good for intuition and creativity. Danbarite is actually fairly hard to find because it's not usually used in jewelry. However, if your town has a local gem show, it's probably going to be there. And if you can't find it there are always online suppliers. A chunk is going to cost you between $10 and $20, and it also has a hardness of 7. Another one with a difficult name, azeztolite. I couldn't find much on this one that was concurred by other sources in the field, but it's supposed to help with chronic illness. It's also associated with the perception and starting your life over or starting a new life somewhere else. And apparently it's regarded as one of the more powerful stones. From what I've seen, it's actually tricky to find even at gem shows or online, and if you manage to get a chunk, it's going to cost somewhere between $50 and $75. Hardness of 7, by the way. Another difficult one to find is phenacite. Phenacite is known as somewhat of a mind stone, promoting brain health, as well as psychic awareness and intuition. It can also help with self-realization and is also known to be a relatively powerful stone. While being difficult to find, you can typically find phenacite at gem shows or from online suppliers, and a chunk will run you somewhere between $70 and $100 for a good size piece. Hardness of 8. Next, we probably have the second cheapest on the list next to hematite, and that's going to be clear quartz. Clear quartz is typically known as a mental cleanser as well as a refocuser. It's good for concentration and can also be programmed to emit whatever energy you want. A piece of it will cost you somewhere between $1.50 to $3 and has a hardness of about 7.5. Clear quartz is relatively easy to find, with some people even finding it on their own property. And that's going to be all I have for you guys today, and remember, only look into the jet if you're prepared for what you see. Also, if your hematite ring breaks as soon as you put it on, there's a good chance you need to go to therapy. Anyway guys, I've been Hyena. Like and subscribe for the next parts of this series and more videos to come, and I'll see you soon.